Hello and welcome to News Central Television with me, Blessings Musugu. The top stories at this hour. Accidental military airstrike kills 6 civilians in Katsina State. Federal government seeks fair process as United States prepares to deport 85 Nigerians. 10 persons die in a building collapse in Egypt. We've got the details shortly. News Central now this hour begins with security matters, where we understand that at least 6 civilians were killed in a mistaken airstrike by the Nigerian army in Katsina State. The residents say an army jet dropped a bomb on huts in Zaka village, Safana district on Saturday while pursuing bandits who had earlier attacked a police base, killing 3 security personnel. The Nigerian military is yet to comment, but Amnesty International reports the death toll as 10 and is demanding an urgent investigation. And this is the latest in a series of accidental military airstrikes in northern Nigeria, with previous incidents killing dozens of civilians. Authorities continue battling criminal gangs terrorizing communities, but residents fear the increasing toll of collateral damage. In Abia State, Nigeria residents are observing a sit-at-home order in response to ongoing political tensions. The streets are unusually quiet, with markets and businesses closed, while public transportation remains suspended. Now, the protest, intended as a peaceful demonstration, has disrupted daily life, affecting commerce and education. Now, while some view it as a necessary action, others fear the long-term impact on the local economy. Authorities urge residents to stay safe and avoid conflicts as tensions rise. The sit-at-home order underscores the power of collective action, but also highlights the challenges local governments face in restoring peace and stability, leaving the future of Abia State uncertain. Now we're joined live from Abia State, where our correspondent Chinwe Ugele is standing by to give the latest update. Good afternoon, Chinwe. What new information do you have for us?
Good afternoon. I am in Imo State actually. I'm in Owerri, Imo State capital. And this morning at 7 a.m. we've been on the street monitoring events and activities. And I want to tell you that the usual sit-at-home order that people used to comply to is no more existent, because we see a situation where a lot of people are going about their businesses, traders are in the shops, children are going to school, and workers are also going to work in their different work places. So transport also doing it. So within the state, within where I am right now, everything is gone back to normal. Even though some people also want to tell us that it is not fully recovered, but then gradually things are taking shape. I had here with me one of the residents of this town who would like to throw more light on the situation, to tell us how it's been. Hello, good afternoon. What's your name? Okay, so tell me how the security situation is with the landlord application. It's very tight. That's not out of another everybody's tight. You know? Everybody will come out. So nobody comes to say you away on the day anymore. Okay. So thank you. And that's how a bit. A lot of people we salutation to that body disturbs them on Monday when they come out to and mind their businesses. Earlier on, we were in some markets, and we often noticed that traders open. Coming out on I can not more on.
All right, Chinwe Ugele, thank you so much for joining us from Imo State. We'll definitely see how the development is across the board. I would have loved to ask if it was the same thing across the states that you have visited, but unfortunately we're having some audio issues. We'll definitely join you shortly. Let's go back to Emmanuel Bagudu, who's joining us from Kano State to tell us more on this as well. Emmanuel Bagudu, if you can hear me now, what new information do you have for us?
situation is about the government. The so-called key delays as for young community. You know that we train to continue also some local communities
Unfortunately, we can't exactly have Emmanuel Bagudu give us updates on the accidental airstrike as well. We're having a bit of network issues, but once we're reconnected, we'll definitely join Chinwe Ugele as well as Emmanuel Bagudu to give us more updates on both topics respectively. Now, to more stories. A video showing a young boy confessing to undergoing military training in Borno Forest has sparked public outcry, raising fears of insurgent recruitment. Now, residents have recounted missing children cases, linking them to militant activities. The hashtag Bring Back Our Girls movement has renewed calls for transparency in the search of 78 still missing Chibok girls. Authorities have confirmed at least one child disappearance per week in the state, with some cases resolved. However, the police have dismissed concerns about recent child soldier recruitment. Borno Security Advisor has blamed ISWAP for using vulnerable children as combatants. Meanwhile, the government has pledged continued military efforts but cited risks of collateral damage. Residents have urged urgent action, calling for forest raids to rescue missing children and curb further recruitment by insurgent groups. Now to Edo State, where the immediate past governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, has been indicted of 96 billion naira fraud committed while in office between 2023 and 2024. Now, a forensic investigation of financial dealings of the immediate past administration in Edo State allegedly discovered that huge sums amounting to 96 billion naira were either mismanaged and or diverted to private accounts. On the 18th of December 2024, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo set up an administrative panel of inquiry to investigate the financial dealings of the impeached 18 local government chairmen in Edo State from 4th September 2023 to November 2024. Now, the chairman of the panel, Solomon Imwasi, while submitting the report and recommendations to Governor Okpebolo over the weekend, disclosed the findings. Solomon noted that the recommendations in the report aim to address these issues and promote transparency and accountability in the local government's finances. Now, speaking through his chief press secretary, Fred Itua, Governor Okpebolo vowed to petition the EFCC over its findings. Earlier on, Special Advisor to the Governor of Edo State, Andrew Mwata, spoke to us on this development.
I will start by referring to Section 7 of 1999 Constitution, Sub 1, that talks about democratically elected councils being guaranteed under the Constitution, and now places the duty of legislating for those councils on the State House of Assembly that has the authority to make a law, quote and unquote, a law for the existence, establishment, structure, finance, and functions of these councils. And it was pursuant to that provision of the Constitution, the Edo State Local Government Law 2000 was made. Under Section 20 of that law, the governor can suspend any local government chairman in consultation with the House of Assembly and thereafter set up a probe.
Meanwhile, former governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has described as nullity the panel report indicting him and 18 impeached local government area chairmen of 96 billion naira fraud. He said the report was another desperate effort to justify Okpebolo's unconstitutional onslaught on duly elected council executives. In a statement signed by his media aide, Crusoe Osage, Obaseki noted that Governor Okpebolo does not have supervisory responsibility over the local governments and can therefore not set up investigative panel of government officials that are elected into office just like him. He advised Okpebolo to note that there are limits to his powers as governor, emphasizing that he is neither the Inspector General of Police nor the chairman of the EFCC. Let's go over to Osun State, where Governor Ademola Adeleke and the All Progressives Congress, the APC, are at odds over a court ruling reinstating local government officials elected under the APC. Now, at a press conference, Adeleke accused Minister Boyega Oyetola of colluding with security agencies to enforce the ruling, calling it a plot to destabilize the state. Now, he insisted the rulings lacked legal grounds. In response, the Osun APC dismissed the claims as blackmail, urging Adeleke to seek legal redress. A spokesperson, Kola Olabisi, said the reinstatement was lawful and must be upheld. Both sides remain firm, raising tensions over the enforcement of the judgment.
I invite you all to expose a faceless anti-democratic agenda designed to enforce a non-existing court judgment on our local government. This evil plot is being spearheaded by the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Boyega Oyetola, in active collaboration with Osun State Commissioner of Police, the Osun State Director of DSS, and the State Commandant of the Civil Defense Corps. I therefore appeal to Mr. President, who is a renowned Democrat, to insist on the rule of law by instructing the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of DSS, the Commandant General of Civil Defense Corps not to obey an illegal order from his nephew, Mr. Boyega Oyetola. The Osun State Security Chiefs should also be called to order. I call on Mr. President to instruct the National Security Advisor and the Attorney General of the Federation to personally verify the fact the Court of Appeal judgment did not reinstate the sacked local government chairmen and councillors, and the fact that there is a subsisting judgment of court that sacked the chairman and councillor produced by the 2022 local government.
In the meantime, tensions have escalated in Osun State as All Progressives Congress APC members attempted to take control of the Olonroda local government secretariat in Osogbo. The armed police, along with operatives from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, and Amotekun Corps, were deployed to the area to maintain order. The gate to the secretariat was locked and unauthorized individuals were barred from entry. Reports indicate that 2 individuals suspected of recording the event were assaulted and their phones were damaged. Additionally, hoodlums wielding charms were observed intimidating those attempting to document the situation. Osun State Commissioner of Rural Development, Gani Olaoluwa, addressed the crowd, urging them to remain peaceful and emphasizing that no illegal takeover would be permitted. Now, the House of Representatives has dismissed bribery allegations against its members, reaffirming its commitment to transparency and accountability. The House spokesman, Akintunde Rotimi, urged Nigerians to rely on verified facts, not recycled claims aimed at discrediting public officials. The allegations came from a Binance official who claimed 3 lawmakers demanded bribes during an investigation into the crypto exchange. Rotimi stated that the affected members denied the claims, with one already pursuing legal action. He also revealed that Nigeria rejected financial settlement offers from Binance, prioritizing national interest. With the case now in court and under diplomatic review, the House said it will refrain from further comment. Earlier, a lawyer, Joe Mokedi, spoke to us on the development.
It's not the first time we are witnessing such a dirty bill involving our lawmakers, especially members of the House of Representatives. We can recall the drama that transpired between Otedola, the oil mogul, and the other man there, Farouk, that headed the committee also, and how Farouk wanted to take advantage of being a chairman of a committee responsible for looking into oil and gas and things related to that, to exploit and extort Chief Otedola, into giving him a humongous amount of money, running into millions then as bribes. And there's so many other, issues that actually, affected the country, where you have members of the House of Reps, heading committees to look into that. They ended up having no credible results. Rather, the situation will become worse. For instance, price hikes, MTN, all these multinationals, a lot of things. We heard that there was a committee of National Assembly that will look into that. And when they get into the business, instead of focusing and using their energies on how to get a better bargain for the people of Nigeria, they rather go look at see that opportunity as opportunity to exploit the people, look for bribe, look for money, look for what will be used so that pacify them. Okay.
Time to go on a short break now, and when we come back, APC wins chairmanship and councillorship elections in Katsina State. We have the details of this and more after the break. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. You're still live with us on the news. Now to more stories. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegwu-Ojukwu, has urged the U.S. to follow established protocols when deporting immigrants. Now, speaking after a meeting with U.S. Ambassador Richard Mills Jr., she expressed concerns over the potential suspension of the Dropbox visa system and the impact of deportations on Nigerians. Now, she revealed that 201 Nigerians are in the U.S. immigration camps, with 85 cleared for deportation. Bianca called for humane deportation procedures and clarity on student visa policies. Mills, however, assured that the Dropbox system is under review, not suspended, and that USAID remains committed to humanitarian aid. He further confirmed that deported Nigerians will be returned to Lagos with initial repatriations involving convicted criminals and immigration violators. Away from that now, activist and lawyer Dele Farotimi has disclosed that he still faces 4 separate lawsuits filed by members of Aare Afe Babalola's law office, despite the withdrawal of criminal charges against him. Farotimi also stated that while Afe Babalola withdrew his petition, civil cases remain ongoing across multiple states. He emphasized that his book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, is a research critique of systemic corruption in the judiciary, not a personal attack. He, however, maintained that his work challenges the legal system rather than individuals, and criticized those dismissing his book without reading it. Farotimi insisted that Nigeria must confront uncomfortable truths to achieve real reform, arguing that the system rewards deception and punishes the truth. Now, the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, has swept the chairmanship and councillorship elections in Katsina State. The chairman of the Katsina State Independent Electoral Commission, Lawal Al-Hassan, declared APC the winners of all 34 chairmanship and 361 councillorship positions. Al-Hassan expressed that result collation was delayed due to late submissions from some local governments. The elections featured 5 political parties, including Accord, AAC, ADC, APC, and Boot Party. Reacting to the outcome, Katsina IPAC chairman Salima Buyi conceded defeat, urging unity for state development. Governor Diko Umar Rada congratulated the winners, emphasizing the importance of good governance at the grassroots level. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP in Kaduna State, has described the defection of 3 members of the State House of Assembly and a member of the House of Representatives as unfortunate and a betrayal of a trust placed on them by the people. Now, the 4 legislators from Kaduna State dumped the PDP to join the ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC. In a statement issued by the party's publicity secretary in the state, Maria Dogo, the PDP said the defection of the lawmakers to APC was unacceptable and unconstitutional, asking them to vacate their seats with immediate effect. They urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to declare vacant the seats of the 4 defectors. They also called on the speakers of the House of Representatives and the Kaduna State House of Assembly to declare the seats of the defectors vacant and notify INEC to conduct by-elections. Now, 48 hours after the demise of Pa Ayo Adebanjo, the national leader of the Yoruba socio-cultural group Afenifere, the dignitaries have continued to flock to his residence to pay tribute and condole with the family. News Central's Igbalani Omoni has more in this report.
Aare Afe Babalola, the renowned Afenifere national leader, has passed away, leaving behind a legacy of fighting for justice and equality. As news of his demise spread, dignitaries from various walks of life have been trooping in to pay their last respect and condole with the family. 2 days after his passing, the influx of visitors continues, with major political and religious figures, government officials, friends and family members all coming to honor his memory. Today, notable visitors included Pastor E.A. Adeboye, Peter Obi, Gbadebo Road Viva, and Yunus Tanko, amongst others, who shared stories and reflections on Pa Adebanjo's enduring legacy.
Our nation, Nigeria, have lost something very, very, very important. Somebody who fearlessly, courageously fought for justice, fairness, and what is right. And most importantly, remain consistently consistent to the end.
He's like a father to me, and I must confess how he supported my administration, despite the fact that we didn't at that time belong to the same political party. That underscores the fact that this is a man of principles, and he exhibited that to the end.
He's unapologetically consistent, and that is something that is so rare in today's politics, and it's something that sets the light on a path for that it's okay to stand your ground. It's okay to stand for something because people will remember you for that thing, and that's what we are seeing today.
He's really the father of all, so he has children across board who would step up, both from within the family and outside. You have various people. I mean, he's done the best in educating us to the best of his ability. It's now really up to us, and we would see, as they say, fortune favors the brave, so we just have to assert our own marks individually.
Former Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, alongside Afenifere groups, has been celebrating Pa Adebanjo's life and contributions to Nigerian society, acknowledging his tireless effort to promote unity, justice, and progress.
We'll remember him for his great courage, for his dedication to the region, and to all national causes that he participated in. We pray that his memory will always be blessed.
He was a great leader of Afenifere, a destabilized Nigerian, not perturbed by sentiment nor peculiar gains. He was truly a trench man, a great and formidable papa. You have fought the good fight.
As the nation mourns the loss of this iconic leader, his family and loved ones take comfort in the outpouring of support and tributes from across the country. In Lagos, for News Central, Igbalani Omoni.
Now, Pan-Igbo groups led by Ayandigbo have paid tribute to late Afenifere leader Chief Ayo Adebanjo. The groups in a joint statement described Pa Adebanjo as a leader whose dedication to justice and equity shared the moral compass of Nigerian society. They acknowledged Pa Adebanjo's principles of fairness as a major attribute that earned him the respect of those who value the common good over personal or ethnic interests. The tribute also highlighted Adebanjo's ability to remain a beacon of wisdom and integrity despite the challenges of ethnic divides in the country. The tribute read in part, "God blessed him with a long life. He used it to do God's work by speaking the truth without being compelled or induced to. Chief Adebanjo, it was noted, could have chosen to remain silent in his later years, but he chose to continue advocating for what was right, even in the face of adversity." Now, the tribute was signed by prominent Pan-Igbo groups including Ayandigbo, Aka Ikenga, the Igbo Leaders of Thought, Nzuko Muna, the World Igbo Congress, WIC, among others. Nigeria's federal government has been tasked to allocate equal resources for the development of both boys and girls in the country. This was during the launch of a girl-led research aimed at addressing the challenges faced by Nigerian girls by the Action Aid Nigeria. Our correspondent Joshua Imarai was at the event and found this report. We'll come back to Joshua Imarai in a minute, but in the meantime, Nobel laureate poet and literacy icon Professor Wole Soyinka has tasked citizens within the literary community to embrace creativity, saying it is a gift that should be nurtured. Professor Soyinka, while speaking during the unveiling of a creative hub for children in Abuja, aimed at developing their potentials and nurturing their talents, says that there is no limit to what the human mind can achieve when given the right environment and atmosphere to thrive. Amadine Uyi reports.
From the world of artificial intelligence to man's foray into space, from the achievement of the Renaissance, explicitly captured through architecture, art, technology and prose, the last 100 years has indeed witnessed unimaginable strides, spearheaded by the creativity of the human mind. While many believe there is no limit to what the mind can achieve, some say there is no need to set limitations, but embrace creativity, allowing it to express itself in whatever form it chooses to manifest.
Don't belabor the gift. Let it emerge in its own right. When it's ready, you'll be astonished. And it can be a musical phrase. It can be observation of a unique relationship between people, and then you want to explore how they came to have that kind of relationship. It's a question of just opening your mind to take up what others have uttered.
As literary minds converge on Abuja to unveil this creative hub, also known as
Sincere apologies for that. Now it's time to go on another short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the details of more stories. Do stay with us. And to a breaking story now, where we understand that men of the Department of State Security, the DSS, and Nigeria Police in the early hours of Monday reportedly stormed the premises of the Lagos State House of Assembly, sealing up the offices of the Speaker, Mojisola Miranda, a deputy and clerk of the House. As of 10 a.m. local time, armed security personnel took over the premises at Alausa Ikeja and environs, frisking every passersby. Miranda, however, arrived with a convoy at about 11:15 a.m. The former Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, has sued the state lawmakers, challenging his removal as the Speaker of the Assembly. Obasa, it was gathered, has filed a motion at the Ikeja Division of the State High Court, where he's also seeking an accelerated hearing of his suit. Obasa was removed in absentia by 32 out of the 40 members of the State Assembly on January 13, 2025. He was in America when he was removed in a situation described as coup by President Bola Tinubu. Now the news continues in the north of Africa, where tragic building collapse in Cairo's working-class Kerdassa neighborhood has claimed the lives of 10 people and left 8 others injured, according to authorities. Rescue teams have rushed to the scene, searching for more potential survivors believed to be trapped under the rubble. Eyewitnesses reported that a gas cylinder explosion triggered the collapse. Meanwhile, authorities have launched a police investigation into the incident. This disaster highlights the ongoing issues with building regulations in Cairo, where enforcement remains inconsistent. The city, home to over 26 million people, has witnessed several similar tragedies in recent years, often linked to dilapidated structures and non-compliance with safety standards. In East Africa now, where Winfred Banyuma, the wife of imprisoned Ugandan opposition leader Kizza Besigye, has expressed profound concern over her husband's health as he continues his hunger strike. Besigye, facing charges of threatening national security, is currently on trial in a military court. Banyuma described these charges as trumped up, highlighting the political nature of the proceedings. She fears for Besigye's well-being, noting his deteriorating health and the lack of adequate medical care. Now, Besigye, a prominent critic of President Yoweri Museveni's nearly 40-year rule, has been a central figure in Uganda's opposition movement. His ongoing hunger strike has drawn international attention, with calls for his immediate release and improved treatment.
He's not been eating, he's only drinking water. He was last seen at court on Tuesday, and he looked very frail and dehydrated. I'm very worried about his condition now. So there is no law under which he's detained today, but the president has defied the courts and said he doesn't agree with the Supreme Court ruling. He's talked with his members of parliament, who are the majority in parliament, and he's asking them to reverse the decision of the Supreme Court through a law, which is also...
Let's still stay in East Africa for a bit. Uganda's government has proposed dropping the military trial against opposition leader Kizza Besigye, who has been on a hunger strike since February 10, 2025, protesting his detention. Now, Cabinet spokesman Chris Bayomonsi announced that the government is complying with the ruling of the Supreme Court by transferring Besigye's case from the court-martial to a civilian court. Besigye, a former ally turned rival of President Yoweri Museveni, was charged with treason for allegedly threatening national security. His wife, UNAIDS Executive Director Winnie Byanyima, has expressed deep concern over his health and described the government's offer as highly suspicious. She also emphasized that Bayomonsi, as a government minister, is his captor and warned of holding the government accountable for any harm to Besigye. Now we go to Central Africa, where the African Union, the AU, has issued a strong warning against a potential breakup of the Democratic Republic of Congo following the entry of the Rwanda-backed M23 armed group into the heart of Bukavu, the DR Congo's second largest city in the eastern region. Bankole Adeoye, the AU's Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, emphasized the importance of upholding the DRC's sovereignty, political unity and territorial integrity during a press conference at the AU summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
We are expressing grave concern, that is what our leaders did, on the situation in Eastern DRC, calling for immediate withdrawal of M23 and their supporters from all occupied towns and cities, including Goma Airport. Second, it's very critical that our leaders also emphasize what is fundamental to every member state of the African Union: the preservation and total respect of the sovereignty, political unity and territorial integrity of Democratic Republic of Congo. We also express concern that there's this escalation, this new escalation, should not become an open conflict that will disrupt and impact on humanitarian activities and the already very weakened social fabric in the region. The only way to solve the problem in Eastern DRC is for all parties to sit around the table, and the African Union is ready to play that mediation role.
Now, still on the African Union, the AU has called for the immediate removal of the M23 rebel group and their supporters from all towns and cities in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, including Goma Airport. Bankole Adeoye, the AU's Peace and Security Commissioner, emphasized the need to prevent the balkanization of Eastern DRC. This statement comes after the M23's recent capture of Bukavu, the country's second largest city, escalating concerns over regional stability. The AU's call underscores the urgency for a coordinated international response to halt the advance of the M23 rebels and restore peace in that region. Again, still on the conflict, in a dramatic escalation of the conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, M23 rebels, reportedly backed by Rwanda, have seized control of Bukavu, the capital of South Kivu province. This strategic city, home to nearly 1 million residents, fell to the rebels on Friday, the 14th of February 2025, following minimal resistance from Congolese forces. The capture of Bukavu has triggered a massive exodus, with thousands of Congolese refugees fleeing across the Ruzizi River into the neighboring Burundi. Reports indicate that over 10,000 refugees have arrived in Burundi's Cibitoke province since Friday, with more continuing to cross the border. Burundi's Interior Minister, Martin Niteretse, has confirmed the influx, noting that many refugees fled in panic upon hearing of Bukavu's fall. Now, South Africa's Judicial Conduct Committee has overturned the dismissal of a complaint by Henry Oka, the jailed former leader of Nigeria's movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta. Now, a 4-member panel ruled that Oka's appeal documents were allegedly tampered with, leading to his case being referred for inquiry. Now, Oka accused Chief Justice Raymond Zondo of directing court staff to alter documents which he claims led to the dismissal of his appeal. The committee noted that Zondo failed to respond to the allegations and ordered further investigation. Oka, serving a 24-year sentence in South Africa for terrorism, maintains his conviction violated constitutional and international laws. And now, still to come on the news, a former French surgeon is facing trial for raping 300 patients. The details of this story and more after the break. Join us again. Hey, thanks for staying with us. You're still live with us on the news. Now we go outside the African continent, where a former surgeon is set to stand trial later this month for allegedly raping or sexually assaulting nearly 300 former patients, most of them children, many unconscious, over 25 years across Western France. The sheer scale and horror of the allegations against 74-year-old Joe Skounek means his 4-month trial, due to start on February 24, will likely have an immense impact at home and abroad. The trial in the city of Vannes in Brittany will be held in public, but 7 days of testimony from victims who were targeted, while minors will be behind closed doors. According to regional prosecutor Stefan Kellenberger, Skounek has generally acknowledged his involvement in many of the events in question, as well as his concealment strategies. Now, Iran has condemned Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent remarks, calling for further action against the Islamic Republic, calling them a violation of international law and the UN Charter. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai dismissed Netanyahu's comments, saying that Israel lacks the ability to take meaningful action. Now, Netanyahu made the remarks during a press conference with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, highlighting Israel's efforts against Iran-backed groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. Meanwhile, Rubio reaffirmed that Iran would never be allowed to develop nuclear weapons. Iran insists its nuclear activities comply with international agreements, rejecting U.S. claims, first raised on the President Donald Trump's administration, that it is pursuing nuclear arms.
در یک دنیای ایدئال که حاکمیت قانون مبنای عمل و برخورد جامعه بین‌المللی باشه، قاعدتاً این نوع تهدیدها به منزله نقض فاحش اصول و اهداف منشور ملل متحد هست و گوینده این سخنان و بیان کننده چنین
And now, UK Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has announced his readiness to deploy British peacekeeping troops to Ukraine, emphasising a commitment to support international efforts for peace. His comments come as European leaders convened for urgent talks aiming to address the escalating conflict in Ukraine. Starmer stressed the importance of working alongside NATO and other global allies to safeguard Ukraine's sovereignty and protect civilian lives. With tensions rising in the region, his proposal highlights the growing urgency for coordinated military and diplomatic efforts to bring stability to Ukraine amidst the ongoing crisis. This announcement is expected to influence future discussions at the European summit. South Korean authorities have temporarily removed Chinese AI app DeepSeek from local app stores over data privacy concerns. Officials say the app's compliance with the country's data protection laws is under review. Choi Jang-yuk, the vice chair of the Personal Information Protection Commission, says authorities will scrutinize DeepSeek's handling of user data. The app, which launched its R1 chatbot last month, claims to rival U.S. AI leaders at a lower cost, but faces scrutiny in multiple countries. Now, China has urged nations not to politicize trade and technology, with Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiankun calling for fair treatment. South Korea joins France and Italy in demanding clarity on DeepSeek's data practices.
政府一贯要求中国企业在严格遵守当地法律法规的基础上开展海外运营。我们也希望有关国家避免采取将经贸科技问题泛安全化、政治化的做法。
And now it's time to go on a short break, and when we come back, more stories, especially business news. Do stay with us. Right now, there is a remote village in Warri where the people there are complaining of lack of government representation and presence. And we have our correspondent, Biola Festus, who's currently there to give us the feel of what the people are actually saying. Biola Festus, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. What is the update there, and what exactly are the people saying?
We are currently at Obleja community in Warri, South local government area of Delta State. River community. It's a small island in Warri South, in Warri West, I beg your pardon. We have been here to tell their story, but what dominates is the fact that there is no government presence in this community. They have
all right, Biola Festus is still currently in the riverine area of Warri. It's a community in Warri, and we'll definitely still circle back to see what they have to say. Let's give it another try. Biola Festus, can you hear me?
In Warri West, I beg your pardon, local government area of Delta State. We've been on ground here to tell the story of these people. But one prominent thing about their story is the fact that they lack the presence of government. There's no government presence in this place. The only thing you can see are infrastructure built by individuals in this area. There's no single amenity by government. We have a son of the land whose house is just right by me here to tell their story himself. He now talks to us.
I am Mama Mubena, President, National President, Niger Delta Youth Council. I'm in Dr. Marama, Salvation City, Warri Southwest. This happened to be a community in Warri Southwest, my own father's land. Before now, this and host community are a pipeline community that are the existing place. Now, this is a place where high illegal activities have been taking place recently before the operation of Tantitas. And after the operation of Tantita, the place is very clear for operation and all that. But there is things going on, a livelihood, something going on that we experience hardship in our community. Right now in our community, we have so many projects that have not been done, where the indigents are going through a lot, where life is very harsh on them. As you can see, we don't have proper drinkable water in our place, where there is no fresh water we can drink, where there is no school, there is no secondary school in our places, there is no hospital for women and children to go. I think there is no light in our places. So I think the people are living in abject poverty. And I mean, son of the soil, I think it's very wise for government to come to our aid
So I'll plead and appeal to the government to come to our aid, because these people, they are passing through a lot and they are distributing to Nigeria's stake. They are one of the producers in the oil sector here. So I appeal to the federal government and the state government to please bring some project to escape the people from this hardship. Thank you and God bless you.
There goes an appeal from a son of the soil right here. We also have the oldest man in this community. He also has certain complaints to lay. If you can come with me, let's talk to him now. Papa. Okay, Papa is right here.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Can you tell us some of the experience? You told me earlier that this community is ready to go into fishing fully because right now the water is clear. Unlike 2-3 years ago when you have oil polluted water. What are those things that you need as assistance from the government?
Okay, thank you very much, my sister. My name's Joseph Ayatele. Joseph Ayatele, the oldest man in the community. Arizona City, Warri Southwest. See, after the environment has cleaned, we suffer a lot. And now, the pollution has gone down. So we need help from the government. We are suffering many things. Now, what my brother is saying, that we have no water, no light. So we need government help. We need government help. And we need assistance. Government, now we are suffering, both women, the male, we are suffering. We need government help. Thank you.
Okay, you did tell me earlier that you people are ready now to go into full-scale fishing, but you lack the equipment to do that. How about that?
No equipment. We need government to help us some equipment to go.
Thank you very much. That's the oldest man in this community. We've been on this island for some hours now. We saw their water. We could see that lilies are now sprouting up on their water, unlike before, where the only thing you could see on the sea surface is oil pollution. But we can see lilies growing off their water. We can see some life in this water, unlike before some years back when we took a look at this community. Benson?
All right, thank you so much, Biola Festus, and I'm glad that the people of that community have spoken, and hopefully the government get to see their cries and do something about it. Once again, thank you for bringing us the update. Well, that's all on the news at this hour, but before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. We told you that an accidental military airstrike kills 6 civilians in Katsina State. We also mentioned federal government seeks fair process as United States prepares to deport 85 Nigerians. And finally, we told you that 10 persons have died in a building collapse in Egypt. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, StarTimes, channel 274, Aare TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Blessings Mosuku.